we all have a capacity for greatness. We all have a capacity to excel at anything we choose to do. You can achieve 1,000,000 goals. It's all up to you.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Donna-Luisa Eversley. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
I am feeling fantastic. I am excited, energized.
Well, I love that. It's a great pleasure to connect with you. Now, we both share the same sun, right? The Caribbean sun. So it's a great pleasure to connect with you. You're calling me from Trinidad, are you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, Donna, it's a great pleasure again to connect with you. Let's share the story of how we connected. Tell others which of your talents is responsible for that.
Well, LinkedIn Local is responsible for us meeting. And meeting you is one of the very best things that can happen to somebody with social media. And when I say meeting you, it's just the way we connected. Allow me to paint this little picture, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So in walks this man through these doors where the program was hosted, and you had on a hat. You looked very distinguished and different, but you looked, for want of a better word, you looked like a gentleman in the wrong time, but really in place. And I remember going across to you, and I remember asking for a selfie. And I was busy snapping away and taking out these photos, and everybody, you were okay.
Yes.
And the fact that you were okay, I saw the social in the whole thing. And social media is so much more than being online. It's really moving from just online and connecting in real life. So for me, our meeting was a personification of the experiences I've had on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, but in real life. So it was a big wow, and it just proceeded to get bigger and bigger and bigger as the evening proceeded. And that is how we met. But you did give a wow of a presentation. I was totally blown away that you were able to do some stuff that was so big that I wanted to do in my own way, but could not figure out how I could get it done. And that's how we met.
Well, that's great. Now, as much as this is about me with my podcast, I'd love to know more about the social side of you, because it seems as though there's a talent and of insight. If I had to put my finger on it, the insightfulness that you move in. So, who did you learn that from?
My sons, I was afraid of social media. Initially, I did not think that people should be talking to other people on social media because it was scary. But funny story with it was one day I saw my sons playing an online game and talking to these online people. And I thought, oh my God, my kids they are friendless. They're talking to imaginary people. Oh Lord, what is happening? They said, Mom, it's okay. I said, but you all are talking to imaginary people. You should be outside talking to real people. And then let's rewind 2 years later. I met someone on a trip to Suriname. And when I met this guy, he asked if we could connect on Facebook. And that's when I joined the Facebook, and that's when I started to engage with people online. And I was amazed. And then one afternoon, my son came to me while I was speaking to quite a few people on Facebook. And he said, oh, you're talking to imaginary friends now. So you've joined the imaginary world.
Now, professionally, there's a ton of things that you've done as well. Please tell us about how you're doing what you're doing in the business world currently, helping others.
Okay, well, I am a business development consultant. And one of the things that I do with my clients is I introduce them to social media and how they can use the opportunities available to enhance their business, their customer service, and the overall introduction into this online world, which you cannot avoid or get away from. It is a part of our world. It's an exciting part, and you need to embrace it. What I have done is I've merged my experiences in developing business opportunities into maximizing the online opportunities available at a minimal cost. I think that most people see social media in business as something you hire someone else to do, and you don't need to be involved. But you need to be involved. And what I do is I make it fun and I make it easy to understand what needs to be done.
Yeah, and that's very important. Like I've had experiences where we allowed other institutions to handle our social media, and that didn't go too well because what we found is it was an extension of our conversation, and it's so necessary to ensure that who I am or who my wife is communicated across that medium because it is very important. Social media is an extension of who we are now, isn't it?
Definitely. It's not only who we are, it is what we want to do because social media takes advantage of our present and our future by establishing credibility and showing a past and a journey. And it's fascinating that your personal brand can be shown and magnified throughout different areas and different countries around the world by what you put out there. So it's extremely important to embrace social media as an extension of who you are and not something you will leave for somebody else to do. And when I say for somebody else to do, I do believe that using professional services of marketers and different digital media specialists and the like is important, but they are not standalone, and their value is as good as what you are prepared to put in.
Mm, I love that. So, where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you who requires your assistance?
Well, I would suggest that they reach out via LinkedIn. You can connect with me on email. You can contact me via phone. And most times I'm referred. That's how I've built my clientele.
That's wonderful. All right, Donna. Well, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm blue Caribbean water. Donna, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Swinging at the Christ Child Convalescent Home. I was about 4 years old, and my mom had been ill, and the nuns took myself and my three sisters in for 6 months. So I lived in an orphanage for 6 months, and I enjoyed the swings that they had. I am able to see myself swinging and pushing, going up, and that movement for me, just being able to just move, that I can see at any time, that visual positioning, that picture that I see of myself going up in a swing, coming down, but always going up and being able to control that movement. That is something that I see. That's my earliest memory.
Yeah. How do you see that connecting to who you are today? I mean, metaphorically, do you connect it as well?
I definitely connect to that because I am not afraid of taking chances. I'm not afraid of anything. And in business, I have no problem sitting on a swing and let's move. Let's just get it done. Let's go as high as we can, do as much as we can, knowing always that the possibility of coming down is present, but always knowing that if I push, I can go back up.
I love that. I love that. I think there's a team point in there as well, right? Like if there's someone who's helping you as well, it's powerful, isn't it? Yes, you can do it by yourself. And of course, you have the other parts of nature that's helping you, right? Momentum, the wind, right? All of that. But having someone else helps, doesn't it?
Though you can propel with your little feet, you do need someone with you if you want to add momentum, so to speak.
Love that. Love that. Love how you're helping others now. You know, being the person that's giving them that momentum. That's beautiful. All right. All right. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Dancing Queen, ABBA.
Da, da, da.
Singing Dancing Queen.
Love it. right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Donna-Luisa?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Donna, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I have been mentoring and coaching and uplifting as many young people as possible, and even the older ones. People need hope. And so it started with my family and it's gone out, it's gone further.
That's wonderful. Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
All right. Now, you said you had children. How many children do you have?
I have three. I have two boys, one 32, the other is 30, and a 22-year-old daughter. That's my baby girl.
Wow. All right. Do you believe in God?
Definitely, I believe in God. I believe He is always present in my life.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I actually have about 7 friends from my early childhood of 5 years old.
Wow. All right. All right. Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I don't have time to watch television for.
Not even 3 hours a week?
I spend more time on social media than I do in front of the television.
What about screen time? Does it go for more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Sometimes it would go off, especially on a weekend. I tend to do more screen time than during the week. I would think that I don't do a full 8 hours on the screen during the week.
All right. And if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
Oh, I own my own brand, and therefore it is my responsibility to build it to be the best brand on this earth. I own my own brand, and you own your own brand.
Totally agree with that. All right, Donna-Luisa, this was such a great pleasure. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would like everyone to know that we all have a capacity for greatness. We all have a capacity to excel at anything we choose to do. There will be bumps in the road, but once you keep pressing forward, it's amazing. You can dream a million dreams and you can achieve a million goals. It's all up to you.
Love it. Again, amazing audience, Donna-Luisa. Donna, this was such a great pleasure. It feels so good talking to a local Trinidadian on the podcast and sharing what we are doing here in Trinidad to the world. So thank you so much for that, Donna-Luisa Eversley. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.